What is going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of FitBizU. I'm your host, Jill Coleman. And today we are going to answer the question of should you welcome new followers? Now, specifically, we're talking about Instagram. If someone follows you on Instagram who may be a potential client, should you welcome them? Should you send them a DM when you see it come in and ask them about their goals? Say, how can I help you? What's going on? Things like that. And I saw this question on Threads about a week ago. Someone asked, like, how do you feel when someone sends you a welcome message? And I will say probably like 80 to 90% of the responses were in line with sort of how I feel about it, which I'll share with you here in a second. And about 10% of people were kind of like, it really just depends. Sometimes I like it. It depends on what they say and how they approach it. In general, I do not like this strategy, not because I don't want to welcome people and like be nice to folks, but because I feel like people already receive it as a sales pitch. Even though you're not selling anything, even though you're not, sending them to an application or a sales call or whatever, I do feel as though this is a little too pushy, a little too soon. So, for example, this happened to me maybe about a year ago. I was on Facebook and I had a friend request. And I was like, I don't really know this person. I can kind of tell maybe they're in like a network marketing situation, but we had a lot of mutual friends. So I was like, well, let's see. I don't know this person, but, let me just see. And I ended up accepting the friend request. And literally within 20 minutes, this person messaged me on Facebook and said, hey, Jill, have you thought about, and kind of like pitched me an opportunity, quote, an opportunity about like, I think she does some kind of like network marketing with like leggings or clothing or something like that. And it just was extremely off putting, extremely transactional, and really it was just a repellent energy. I immediately unfriended. So I immediately unfriended. And maybe this is just a little bit of my personality coming through where I don't like, as you guys know, autonomy is like my biggest trigger. It's like I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it with whom I want to do it. And I don't like being pitched to. I don't like people who don't know me trying to sell me really fast. I don't even like going into a brick and mortar shop and someone immediately pounces on me and is asking me all sorts of questions. Like the worst is, and you guys probably have this experience, where you go to like a sunglass hut or you're going somewhere where you're going to pick out new sunglasses. And number one, everything is behind a glass case. So you walk in and immediately they're like, looking for something specific? Can I help you with something? And you kind of don't know yet, right? You just feel self conscious. I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to leave right now. And so you're like, I'm just browsing. And then they're kind of like following you around because they have to open the glass case. And so if you like look at something like a little too long, they'll be like, want me to open that for you? And it just feels like a lot of attention on you that you don't necessarily want. Maybe it's just me, but when I go into a store, every once in a while, I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I need to get something really quick. I'm going in for a specific purpose, but oftentimes I'm just browsing. And when someone kind of pounces on you and is kind of like watching you walk around the store to make sure that if anything you need, they're right there for you, it can just feel like a lot of attention. And for most people, we don't want that kind of attention because I'm like, look, I don't even know if I'm buying something, but now I'm almost feeling as though I have to buy something because you're paying attention to me and I don't want you to think I'm cheap, or you don't want me to like, I don't want to have you open up 3 glass cases for me and then I don't buy something from you. Maybe this is just me, y'all, but I think some of this stuff is like so subtle, which is why I want to bring it up. This is sort of the equivalent of some you following someone, and I always try to turn it around on you. Like, how would you feel if you're just scrolling social media, you come across an account that looks interesting to you, and you go ahead and follow the person, and then within minutes they send you a message and being like, hey, Jill, how's it going? So nice to meet you. Like, what brought you to my account? I'm like, it's too much attention. Like, I'm already thinking to myself, this person wants something from me. This person is trying to find an angle. This person is trying to sell me something. So remember, how would you feel? And maybe you're listening to this and you're like, Jill, I love when people welcome me and I love connecting with people and I love doing this. I personally don't love that. And if you do, more power to you. Great. Maybe this strategy will work for you. Personally, I don't like it. It feels already pushy. And so if you don't like that happening to you, then I probably wouldn't recommend doing it. Now, I know that there's certain business coaches that, tell you to do this, reach out to everybody who follows you, make people feel welcome. And again, I think it comes from a good place, right? It doesn't come from a pushy place necessarily. It comes from a place of like, I just want to connect with people. It is called social media for a reason. But I try to think about the mentality of a follower. Remember, people are not on social media to buy stuff. They aren't. They're on social media, number one, to be entertained because they're bored, they're scrolling. Number two, maybe they're on there to learn something. They're there to because they're nosy or they want to maybe find out a tip or a tool, but that's below even entertainment. Most people are just there to be entertained. So when someone is reaching out to me and asking me about my goals, I'm like, slow your roll. This relationship isn't there yet. So, watching out for being too salesy. Again, I know there are business coaches that say to do this. I know there are plenty of business coaches who said, I was just watching a reel earlier today, and the business coach was like, you need to reach out to 100 people a day on DMs. And I was like, who likes that? Number one, as the coach, we don't want to be doing that, right? We're like, this feels greasy. This feels salesy. This feels like, I feel so pushy. And then the person receiving it also is feeling some kind of way. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I make a sale, I want it to be like we're a team. We're making this decision together. I'm not in their DMs pushing them. I'm not, guilting them. I'm not like shaming them into something. I'm trying to build a genuine relationship so that when that person finally says yes to working with me, we have both arrived at this decision 100% organically. It's not because I'm in Sunglass Hut and I feel bad that this person has opened 3 cases for me, so I feel like I, out of obligation, should buy a pair of sunglasses. I don't want to start a coaching relationship in that way. I don't want that person to feel guilted or shamed or bullied or manipulated into buying just because we're having this conversation and I'm like trying to quote, overcome the objections in a DM. No one likes how that feels. So, but I understand the idea behind this is like, okay, I'm just welcoming them and now I'm creating a connection with them. I think the idea of creating a connection is an important one. I think there are more subtle, more organic ways to do it. So, here's exactly what I would do if I had a smaller following and I was just getting started, and maybe I'm not getting a ton of follows. Maybe I'm only getting a handful of followers a day or a handful of followers a week. I would follow them. Now, maybe this feels a little sketchy to you too, because oftentimes the people who are going to be clients of ours are actually have private accounts. So they may or may not accept, but I would feel like I'm just trying to think of someone I look up to. I don't know. One of my mentors is Jasmine Star. And if I followed her because I listened to her podcast or because I'm interested in something she had to say, and then she followed me back, I'd kind of feel flattered, right? Of course, that someone has a huge following, but this person is following you because something about your account caught their eye. Maybe they know you, or maybe there's an association, or maybe they saw something that they liked, or maybe they're just there to kind of just be nosy. But I think that if you follow them back or you request to follow them, it can feel really flattering. It's like, oh, we're going to follow each other back. Who doesn't want more followers? So again, if they have a private account, maybe they don't want to accept anyone who's not a family member or a friend or someone they don't know, but 9 times out of 10, they will accept your follow. And to me, I'm like, who cares? Like, I know that maybe you don't want to see these people in your feed, whatever. Just go ahead and, you can certainly just mute them if you wanted. I just think it is an act of connection to go ahead and follow them back. This is exactly what I would do if I was like, I'm really trying to build my one-on-one coaching roster. And I feel like some of these people who are following me might be potential clients. I'm following them back. Now, I'm following them back and I'm not messaging them. I'm just following them back. I'm just like, hey, let's connect. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to reach out. I don't have to DM them. In fact, it's funny. Sometimes I'll see people with big followings follow me, and I'm like, I know there's a fucking DM in my other folder about this person. And then I go look at their account. It's like digital marketing guru. And I'm like, I know this person just followed me so that they can DM me. And I go to my other folder, and lo and behold, there's someone pitching me something or asking me if I want more clients or asking me if I want more followers or asking me if they can redo my sales funnel or whatever it is. So I think that there's an opportunity for you to stand out and to show this person that you really do want to make a genuine connection by just following them back and not DMing them. This is just what I would do. So I'm just sharing this. Now, if you want to do something different, or even if you tried something else and it's worked for you, then great. Don't take my advice. Keep doing what you're doing. I just think that if you're looking to make genuine connections with potential clients, it is a good move to follow them back and then just leave it at that. Now we're going to build the relationship. Now we're going to build connection. Now we're going to build rapport. And that's probably not going to be today. That's going to probably take weeks, maybe months, maybe even years to get to the point where this person is ready to purchase from me. And so all I'm focusing on is planting these little seeds. It's not up to me when the seed starts to bloom. It's not up to me when all this work on social media comes to fruition. I'm just looking at like, okay, this person is a mom and I work with moms and great. Let's just connect. Like, let me just be interested in them. And so I think that when you go ahead and follow them back, you do not need to DM them. They may reach out to you, which is great. If they reach out to you because they saw you followed them, awesome. Then have the conversation. I think that's great. That's like that's a win-win. Then from there, I would use your Instagram stories to give people excuses to respond to your stories. So I actually teach this method in StoryU. One of the number one ways to increase the number of conversations you are having in your DMs is to post more stories. Now, I know the Instagram algorithm specifically is being kind of strange lately, which means that if you post more stories, your views tend to go down. So you see a lot of people letting their stories expire and then posting like one story or two stories and getting maximum views. I think last week I had a story post that had like over 10,000 views, where normally I get about 2,000, 2,500 views, and I was getting like 10,000 views because it was one single story after I let my story expire and people were interacting with the story. So it just kept showing, it kept pushing my story to the left. But I do think that if you are trying to connect with people that are following you, you need to give them a lot of different ways to connect with you. So not just sharing about fitness and nutrition, share about your family, your friends, where you're at, what your summer plans are, what you're eating, where you're going, who you're with, right? All of these things that get people to respond back. I've told this story before. I never got more responses in my life than when I asked people what car I should get. I was like, hey, you guys, I'm getting a new car. What do you think it is? Or what do you think I should get? So many responses. Why? Because everyone either has a car or has a license or drives. Has nothing to do with fitness and nutrition. It has something to do with something that is relevant to everybody. So this is where, like, sometimes if I want to get my engagement up or just to do something fun, I'll get a haul from Free People and I'll try on the clothes and I'll have people like poll, should I keep it or should I get rid of it? It's something that everyone can get involved in. It increases engagement and everyone has an opinion on something like that, something like a car, something like a vacation. Like maybe you're like, hey, I'm going to take the family on vacation next year. Where should we go? Like everyone has an insight into a location, a vacation spot, a wardrobe choice, right? So give people excuses, all different kinds of excuses to respond back. Now, all of a sudden, they're responding back. Now you can have a conversation. And the conversation doesn't need to immediately be like, thanks so much for responding to my story. How can I help you? Like, again, you have to, I know sometimes we want to just like be in there and we want to ask them about their goals and things like that. I just think that we will make more sales if we allow these relationships to develop naturally. Now, I know that's hard because we want to make the sale now, but I'm telling you, I would much rather be following this person, conversing with this person in the DMs for months, and then they pay me $2,000 than me try and reach out to them today and they unfollow me because it's feeling too pushy and too salesy. So I think if you give people a lot of different opportunities to respond to your stories because you're sharing things that are applicable to a lot of people, that a lot of people resonate with, and then if they post, oftentimes these people who are potential clients don't really post all that much, right? They don't really share in their stories all that much. But if they do, that would be an opportunity for you to respond to their story. This is a huge, huge opportunity for you. If they post a story, respond to the story. Now, you don't have to respond with like, oh my God, I love the beach. What are your fitness goals, right? Like it needs to be a response that is genuine, that is a bid for connection, a bid for rapport. We're building a relationship. And we want people to feel, especially ideal clients, like we're the same. right? Like we're the same. We're peers. We're friends. We are both moms. We both have kids in elementary school. We both like to have pizza on Friday nights. We both like to have a glass of wine every once in a while. We both like to take our families on vacation. Like we need to find the connection with these potential clients. So respond to their story if they post. Whenever I give this advice, people always say, well, these people don't share stories, which is true. A lot of like Gen Pop folks don't really share a lot of stories, right? They're not coaches like us that are sharing stories. But if they post on their main feed, that might be an opportunity to post a thoughtful comment, not about health and fitness. Again, it's just like, oh my God, I love, I don't know, I love the Hamptons. We went there last year. That's it, right? Connection, connection, connection. And I know we want it to feel like, okay, Jill, we want to move towards a sale. It's like, yes, but if we really care about building relationships so that that person gives you potentially way more money in the future, then we have to take the time to really genuinely connect. I don't do it as much anymore, but when I was getting started online, especially on Twitter, like from like 2011 to 2013, 14, I was on Twitter quite a bit. And I was also on Facebook, obviously early days. And I was just there to connect with people. Like it was just because it was all so new. I wasn't looking at my social media like a job. I wasn't like, oh, I got to connect with these people or whatever. It was like, I'm genuinely interested in connecting with people. Like I remember connecting with other kind of newer coaches or bloggers or even just like people who liked my content, right? People who read the blog or people who commented on my Facebook posts. Like I'm genuinely interested in them, even if they're Gen Pop. And so I think we kind of have to pull back a little bit on like, how can I make the sale as fast as possible? And really go to how can I plant a bunch of seeds so that when this person decides to work with me, it feels organic, it feels natural, it feels like we both came to this conclusion together because we have this genuine connection. And so, should you welcome your new followers? My vote is no. I think that instead you should follow these people. And it's up to you. You don't have to follow every single person if you don't want to, but I think it could be a really nice touch. And oftentimes, more than not, people feel flattered like, wow, I just followed Jill and she followed me back. That's really cool. And then they don't immediately get a DM being like, hey, can I ask you about your health and fitness goals? How's it going? Like, again, it's too salesy, it's too transactional. So take from this what you will. But if I was just getting started, say on Instagram, I would follow everyone who followed me back. I can always unfollow them later. I can always mute them. Like, what's the big fucking deal? To me, I'm just like, yes, I'm here to build connections. And I know that that is going to make me a lot more one-on-one sales, having genuine connections with someone who feels like we're the same than pitching my services as fast as possible. So take it or leave it. Totally up to you guys. This is my 2 cents on it. I feel again like I try and remember what it feels like to go into the sunglass shop and have someone following me around. I want to just fucking leave. And that's how people are going to feel in their DMs if you're constantly trying to like push them towards sales language. I'm not even saying you're pushing them towards a sale, but you're like, what are your goals? How's it going? Well, how long have you been doing that diet? What have you tried that hasn't worked? What have you tried that has worked? So like when you start pulling out the application questions, again, they're just going to disengage. They're going to ghost you and you're going to wonder why. And it's because it's too much too soon. Be on social media, have an abundance mindset, genuinely be interested in other folks, take an interest, genuine connection, thoughtful comments, thoughtful responses to DMs, thoughtful responses to stories, and then give them the opportunity by posting consistently on your stories, not just about health and fitness, but an array of topics that gives other people an opportunity to respond to those. Good? All right, guys, quick episode today, but I wanted to address this because I do think that there's a lot of schools of thought out there, and this is a question that came up that I saw in threads. So I want to give you my 2 cents on it. Again, I will always give you guys the strategies that probably take a little bit longer, but you're going to have that sustainable strategy, that sustainable business, that viable business, that career that you want to build online by not going for the fast sale that I don't even think fucking works anyway. It's good. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.